Okay, but I think I can actually work with number 2 and number 3. Look like it has some of the features that I want to have for my model. Yes, customer happiness. You can go ahead. I didn't see that earlier. I'll show the difference in what the face swap does versus what we're doing right now. Thank you, customer happiness. I appreciate it. Okay. So we're getting some characters that look more like the characters that we want now. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to upscale all 4 of these. All right. And I want you to check something out here. So let's say this one has probably some of the most similar hair texture that I was wanting to have. So I'm going to take this one right here and I'm going to go to vary region. I'm going to grab just her face area here because she should have very similar complexion. It's probably not going to change the actual complexion. That's why you want to develop a model that has a similar complexion to the actual person you want to change it to. All right. And then all I'm doing at the very beginning here is I'm going to put dash dash AMY for Amy. And then I'm going to hit submit. Now, hopefully, I didn't think of all of us naming it Amy if that was going to be a problem. So we'll see in just a minute if it actually starts looking at Amy. So what'll happen is once you put that in, it will start to reference Amy's pictures, and we'll let that process. Hopefully, it's referencing the right Amy. All right, and you see that it is it's adjusting the image right now. We're going to see what it comes up with. All right, and while that is going there, oh, there it is. All right, and I want to see, I want to show you all my Amy. Okay, so this is my Amy. I want to make sure that she's represented here. So the one that I feel is closest is probably image number 1. Now, this is without using face swap. This is actually basically using reference images. And the reason why I tell y'all to have 5 reference images, we only use 3. If you have 5 reference images, it gets closer and closer to that person's image, okay? So this is my Amy, and this was the original image there. Okay, so see how she looks totally different? All right. Now for this one, I want to zoom out just a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm going to tell it to zoom out by 1.5, and this is going to be one of my 4 poses. Okay. So once you develop a character, so you develop Amy, she's got a nice solid main image. So this is her main grad photo. Then we're going to have a little fun playing with some different poses. And we're going to go ahead and pull some of those from the test one. Okay. So now I can take this same exact prompt here with the reference image. So I can take this whole thing here and I can copy it. When I go to imagine, I can paste it and it's referencing my Amy. Okay, you have a different Amy than I do. So it's still the same thing, but now I'm going to tell it to do something different. So right now, it's just saying that she's wearing a cap and gown, outdoors, natural lighting. I can say here that I want her to be, what do I want her to be doing? So here's some examples here. I'm going to show you some example prompts here. So if you want it to be, I'm going to show you this part. So this is the back view. Okay, back view, walking away from the camera, no face shown, holding up a peace sign on both hands. Okay, that's the only thing that's different there. Now, of course, it doesn't need her face reference there, but it will take into account her skin tone and everything from the previous prompt. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab that action. I'm still going to keep the outdoors, natural lighting, just because I don't want to switch that up. But you could tell it that she is indoors in the auditorium or whatever. Just don't get into that right now. Leave everything else the same. And I want you just to focus on what her pose or her posture is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to put this after her gown. What is her action? This is her back view. She's walking away from the camera, no face shown, holding up peace signs on both hands. Okay. And whenever it references the images, it can take a little bit longer to come up with that image. So just let it cook, let it do what it does. And I'm going to show you a couple of other prompts. So I like this one just because I think it'll be trendy and it will be a good image that you don't have to face match. Okay. But I want y'all to see we get some janky stuff sometimes. So this is why I left this test channel up so you all can see basically what it took to even get to some of these images. Okay, and I even brought an image in from Bing and face swap the image out with the face swap app. So some of you have the face swap app, you can do that. Okay, but I want you to know there are some different poses here. So you can go up and test it. If you see like a pose that you kind of like, is not guaranteed that it's going to do the exact same pose. But this one I said she is looking forward with one hand propped up at the elbow and holding up her face. She's not holding. I was thinking, the famous pose where everybody's doing like this. That's what I was describing, but that's not what it gave me. However, I did get a different pose for her. So you can try some of those prompts and see what you get. This one I did that she was walking away but still looking back. So if you like, I like the whole walk away looking back image as an alternate image. You can also put like side profile. This one I said that she is wearing a blue and white Letterman jacket, posing. Okay, so that's a different one there. So if you look at the example for Wednesday's class, let me close that out. So the example for Wednesday's class, one of them she has on her Letterman jacket. Okay. One of them she's kind of looking over her shoulder. The other one she has her hand propped up on her hat. It looks like the same character, but she's doing different poses. So you're going to have to get a little creative, and you don't have to be that creative. You can literally use the prompts that I have here for you, and use this as an idea of what you want her to be doing. Now, it's AI, so it's going to give everybody something different. Okay, but what I want you to focus on is getting a couple of really cool poses that look like they came from a photographer, making sure that you're referencing Amy's face whenever you are creating that image with the graduation cap and gown. And boom, you go from an image that did not have a cap and gown to a full-fledged photo shoot, cap and gown, same face, different poses. Okay, I'm going to go check on mine now. All right. So I like this one. Like I said, I really like that over the shoulder look. So I'm going to upscale that one. even though it did nothing like I told it to do as far as, well, I guess I did say back view walking away from the camera. Now, here's my thing. Midjourney 6 does so much better at listening to directions. Okay. Midjourney 5 is a little more vague with instructions. So once you actually have Amy locked in, I'm going to take this same exact prompt and I'm going to show you something. So here, my aspect ratio, my references and all, I'm copying all of that. And then I'm going to do imagine, paste. And then what I'm going to do for the version, I'm going to put 6.0 instead of 5.2. So if I wanted to actually be, I told her to be holding up peace signs. Because when I get told 5.2 to hold up peace signs, I got all kind of, gang signs and stuff. I don't know what it was talking about, but it didn't look like peace signs. And she definitely wasn't turned to the back. Now watch when I put in version 6.0 and I hit enter on the same exact prompt. I say watch, but hopefully it's going to do what I want it to do. And see how it briefly references those 3 images and shows you what it's referencing. So that's my model. Those are 3 reference images for her. And it's going to use those reference images to, oh, you know what? I lied. It's not going to use anything because I put /I and not / imagine. I was going too fast. So I hit enter, then paste, then go. Oh, something's weird. Hold on. Let me copy and paste my prompt fresh from scratch. I must have copied something I wasn't supposed to copy here. So let's copy / imagine, paste, and then instead of version 5.2, I'm going to do version 6.0. There it goes. All right. So that's cooking, it's cooking, it's cooking. All right, Danielle's in the room. Adding Amy, Pat, if we are past that part right now, so you're probably going to have to go back and review the video for adding Amy. We're on into choosing poses for Amy, so we can go ahead and get a few poses and figure out the Photoshop side of things. So this, like I said, this was a difficult AI class as far as the complexity of it. But I promise if you watch it back slow and do the steps over again, then you will be able to get your model and basically end up dealing with issues like I'm dealing with right now. Okay, so let's see. So this one looks more like Amy was getting ready to do what I wanted her to do, which is upscaling number 4. So I'm going to upscale number 4, and then I'm going to zoom out because now I want to get y'all into the features that are going to get you the images that you want, the poses that you want, the images that you want. Okay. So for this one, I can't zoom out on version 6. So what I'm going to do is change the aspect ratio on this one. So I'll take this whole thing and I'm just not going to put an aspect ratio so that it gives me the 1:1. So imagine, let's do that again. So if you don't know what all of this right here is, if I take away all of this right here and I put -- Amy, then a space, it does the same thing. All right, I want it to be style raw and version 6.0. And see how it replaced -- Amy with those 3 images? The video typically, this part of the video you'll be able to access on YouTube for a little bit. The beginning part of the video will be uploaded tomorrow because it takes time for them to upload it after it renders. All right. So version 6.0 is understanding at least that I want some fingers up in the air, much better than version 5.2. And it's getting there, but not quite. I want y'all to see what's happening here. These fingers, a little janky. This one is giving me the image from behind, but it's not giving me the piece fingers. So I'm going to I'm going to render this one more time. I'll try the remix option here, but at least it's giving me the aspect ratio where I can see her fingers. And that's one of my poses that I want. So what I'm doing is I'm using version 6 to get more accurate posing. And let me make sure, yeah, because it realizes that Amy has on a white dress, so it's trying to put the white dress on there. And while that's working, I'm gonna go grab one of my other poses here. And this one, I'm just gonna grab just the pose here. I'm gonna see how version 6 does with this one. Looking for one hand propped up at the elbow, holding her face. So that is my pose. I'm gonna copy that pose. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Right here, version number 3 is what I want. So I'm gonna upscale number 3. So right now I have one upscale version of Amy that I want. And then I need to choose which zoom out feature that I want it to. So out of this one, I'm going to zoom the one that doesn't have her hand in the way. I'll choose number 3. So we'll upscale number 3. So right now I have 2 images that I can use for Amy's image. And like I said, we're picking 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got to make 4 images of Amy. Okay, so I have 1 and I have 2. And of course, I can, if I want to change the color of this gown here, we can do that in Photoshop, because when you're using version 6, you don't have the option to do in painting just yet. It's still in the beta mode, or actually the alpha mode. Okay, so I have 1 and 2. So I'm going to this time create this image here. Same idea. I'm copying that whole prompt, /I for imagine, paste in here. And I'm going to do version 6.0 to see if it gives me a more literal understanding of what I want. And then if you have this, I don't know if y'all have this on Mac, but I can do Windows V instead of Control V. And then remember, I just wanted just this part right here. Nope. So right after the graduation gown, I'm going to paste that. So I'm going to do Control V and take this, basically this pose. She's looking forward with one hand propped up at the elbow, holding up her face. So I'm hoping it gives me something like this. I don't know what it's going to give me. We're going to see. Or something like where she's just kind of placing her hand softly on her face. I don't know what it's going to give me, but we shall see. I'm going to make sure we're doing version 6.0 here. And then my aspect ratio, I'm going to take off of 9:16 now, because I just wanted to make sure I had one long image, which I do. And here I'm just going to let it give me the square image from here on out. And I'll just, I'll pan down or I'll zoom out based on what I want. You're not seeing your image links before your prompts. You don't have to see the image links. If you just see only the word Amy, I'm not sure if you're putting in the dash Amy. All right, so I think that is working, or at least it's telling me that it's working. I'm going to do the same exact prompt. I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to let it do the 5.2 version instead of the 6.0 version. And I want to see if there is a difference, which there should be a difference. All right, so now I'm going to take off the version 6.0. If you do not put a version there, it should automatically go to your defaulted version. All right, so let's see what Amy's about to be working with. And really what I'm doing is I'm just getting some graduation versions, and then I'll probably also do just a version of her in the white dress. So that basically you have an image without the cap and gown, image with the cap and gown, and then even some where she may be holding the cap and gown, or I tell her to hold the cap and gown. I don't know what she's actually going to do. So this one I said she's wearing a white dress while holding her black graduation cap on top of her head, natural lighting. Okay, so this one I'm telling it that she's wearing her dress, but she's just holding her hat on top of her head. Okay, so if there are any of these type of poses that you like, feel free to copy and paste one of the poses from the prompt here. And I really do like the looking back type of pose too. And this one, I told it that she's going to be holding her black cap and gown over her left shoulder. So I do like to give it some instruction and see what it follows. So I'm going to do this one where she's not necessarily wearing. So this one, I did not say that she is wearing the cap and gown at all. I said that she's wearing a dress. So she is wearing a white dress while holding her black graduation cap in her right hand and her black graduation gown over her left shoulder. I did that because those are very explicit and long directions. So I'm testing my version 6.0 to see how well it listens to me. Okay, let's see what's Amy looking like here. Okay, so she is kind of propping her hand up on her face. 6.0 is listening a little bit better here, for sure. And I think we might be getting some mixes of our Amy's because I think my Amy's starting to mix with some of y'all's. Let's see, I like this one here. And if I want it to look a little more like Amy, we could actually in paint the face. We can upscale it. Oh, we can't in paint whenever we do the 6.0, so it has to be a 5.2 version to upscale. But oh, I really like this one. That's pretty. Let's upscale number one here. Now this one you can in paint, so you can go vary the region. And then you can go just to the facial area here. Keep like her dress and her hair the same. And then I'm just going to just make sure that I reiterate my Amy there. And I'm going to go with this one for the 5.2 version. And then also what I'm going to show you is how you can do the face swap, okay? So let's say this is close to the type of hairstyle and somewhat the complexion of the graduate that I have, right? If that's the case, then what I'm going to do is show you how to face swap in case you don't already know how to face swap, because this is basically the alternative to doing what we're doing right now by generating these characters. So I'm going to forward slash and I'm going to save an ID, okay? And then I'm going to put in Amy. And then when I attach an image, I'm going to go to wherever you all have your screenshots. Remember we screenshotted screenshots. So I'm going to go to my serious face Amy and I'm going to choose her. Okay, so I'm saving that name as Amy. And this is why I really do like to have this face swap app inside of here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take that image and just go to apps in Swapper, and it's automatically going to put Amy's face on there. Now I tried to make Amy smile a little bit. The complexion is a little bit off. And oh, you know what? Let me see. I may have to clear my I'm gonna see if I can clear my ID just in case. I'm gonna delete the ID of Amy just in case it has my previous Amy, because when I did this before, I used Amy as well. So now when I save the ID of Amy, okay, I think it's just trying to make Amy smile. That's all it is. So I think it did have the right Amy in there for me. In this one, I like number one better. I prefer for them not to be smiling for the most part because they usually have a weird, even if the top teeth look okay, the bottom teeth look a little weird. So sometimes you'll get a decent smile, but for the most part, like this one, I really like. I really, really like that one. So what I'm going to do is zoom out a little bit because I want the top of her graduation cap. So I'll take that one and I will zoom out by 1.5. Zooming out by 2.0 is zooming out a little too much. And like I said, my goal is to have 4 images. Okay, so this would be my third image that I have here. Shawn, let me see what you're rolling with. Yeah, did you put the dash? Yeah, you have to put the dash in front of Amy. Otherwise, it's not going to reference Amy. And it has to be 2 separate dashes. If you copy and paste the dashes, sometimes Google and like Microsoft Word likes to make it one long dash. So you want to do dash, like actually type it into the keyboard. Okay. All right, so this is looking good. It's zooming out right here, almost done. I need to pick one more pose. I think oh, I did pick one more pose. Oh yeah, this one's gorgeous. Now, let's say for instance, I don't like how it has her teeth there. Um, I can edit that in Photoshop. However, that might be a little difficult. So what I can do is I can tell it to very subtle and just hit submit and it'll kind of change a little bit for me because it's the 6.0 version. It doesn't have all the features. So because I did that one 6.0, because I wanted it to listen to me when I said to prop the hand up, then now I have to pay for it, being that it doesn't have all the features that 5.2 has. Okay, so of these 4, let me see which one I want. All it did was give me a little more space at the top and at the bottom, so there is really no difference between all of these because it just extended top and bottom just a little bit here. So I'm just going to upscale 1. And here's giving me a little bit of difference here. And this was the variation of subtle. I want to see which one looks most like my character here. I would say number 3 looks most like her, but also 2 is a close, but 2 makes her eyes a little bit lighter. 3 is more like the color of the eyes we had before. So I'm going to upscale number 3. And the one that did instead of the subtle, this one, this one's too extreme. And usually when you choose variation strong, it's definitely going to be different. All right, so I want to choose one more where she's not wearing a graduation cap at all, but she's doing the Letterman. So if I go here, and if you want to find that one that says Letterman and you don't want to look for it, oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to do the one where she's looking back, so I'll do that one, and then I'm going to do the Letterman one. Yeah, look at that. Looks just like a real photo shoot. Okay, let me see. So I'm going to this one just so I can grab the description of her Letterman jacket. I think all I did was say she's wearing a blue and white Letterman jacket, posing. All right. So boom, I go back to my character, my room. And I'm going to take all of this, including the reference of Amy, / imagine, paste it here. And then I'm going to change what she's wearing. So where it says wearing, I'm taking that out. And then I'm also going to take out her pose. I'm keeping the setting because I don't want to make all these different changes. I just wanted to work on focusing on giving me the images that I need because I cut out the background for most of these anyhow. So what is she wearing? I'm going to do Windows V instead of Control V. And and I'll put blue and white Letterman jacket because I know I can change the color blue to anything. Posing outdoors. Now, the other thing is I'm going to put a graduation photo shoot instead of graduation photo. So I'm putting graduation photo shoot. Okay. And then that way it should have some understanding that this is a Letterman jacket graduation photo shoot. I want some images that are going to work for that kind of um, high school grad photo shoot look. All right, now that was a 6.0 version. I'm going to take the same exact prompt and run it as the 5.2 version. Only thing I'm doing is not putting 6.0 at the end. That's the only difference there. And I'll see what it gives me. It's still referencing my Amy. So I'm going to see what it gives me. The whole point is to have 4 images. So right now, I'm probably going to end up with maybe about 6 images. And then I can choose from there which 4 I want to go into my template for Wednesday. Okay. And let me get back. Right, and 6.0 is giving me better raw images, but it's not using my references like I want it to use my references. Not as much, but 5.2 seems to be using the references better, but it doesn't necessarily give me the cleanest images, I think, or the cleanest understanding of the face that I want to reference here. I think 3 looks good as far as my reference goes. I'm going to upscale 3. And this doesn't look like a Letterman jacket here. I think it's a little confused because it's going from cap and gown to a Letterman jacket. So it's not giving me Letterman jacket. I do like the slight smile here versus some of the other like bigger, kind of goofier teeth smiles. Um, I think I like that slight smirk and I like this one. Although if the skin tone's a little bit off, you can also you can edit those on Photoshop. But you want to start with the similar skin tone. That's why we put that in the prompt. I'm going to go with 2 and 3. And then after it upscales, I'm going to tell it that I want to vary if I want to just change what she's wearing, like if I really like the expression on her face and I only want to change out her jacket, then I'll go to vary region. Go ahead and select my lasso here. And I'm going to just select kind of where her jacket is. And it should understand that I want to do a blue and white Letterman jacket. So what I'm going to do is move the blue and white Letterman jacket up earlier on the prompt just to see if it understands that that's what I want it to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed with that one, see what it paints for me. And it doesn't have to be a Letterman jacket. It could be like this looks more like a track jacket. But if you want a Letterman and you don't want to let it cheapen you out of that experience, then go with vary the region. Select just her garment here. And see, now it's trying to give me a little more Letterman-ish jackets. All right, we'll let that cook. And then there was one more where I wanted to do, this one looks really pretty. I like that one. So I'm going to upscale this one. So I at least have 4 images now. And can you imagine how you're going to be the hero when you can take, a couple of pictures from a proud parent that maybe doesn't even have their graduation pictures yet, and you're going to be able to essentially build a photo shoot off of those images? And here's the thing too, once you have these references, you can continue to use them. So if you have another, basically just build out your skin tone. So that's why I say I want everybody to start first, and kind of build out some of the rooms. And then you can go back and build one with, tan olive skin with brown hair with blonde highlights. You can go back and you can change these prompts and develop different base characters. And basically, what you're going to use is your Amy or your Maddie or your Derek, whatever the name of your character is, or whatever the name of the person's image that you're bringing in. You will name it that, and then you'll call on that person in order to change out the faces and the features. Okay. Let's see this one. I like I like this one that says KK, and I know that I can take that KK off on Photoshop very easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and upscale number 3 as an alternative. And this one gave me another graduation gown. And definitely, I don't know, I guess it feels like she's in band or something. I don't know what's going on there, but she could be in band. And maybe that's something you want to put in. Like if you want to put in that she's wearing a band uniform, I actually think that would be a very good one to do. Extracurricular activities, images of them in their cheerleading uniform, band uniform. Um, Maybe if they play chess, say that you want an image of them playing chess. You can do all of those things, and those things are really going to bring out how well you can design for a parent, because that's for graduation. We're not marketing towards the kids. Usually the kids are, not the ones with the wallets. You want to market to the parents. So, but also if you make it look cool and the kids love it, you're absolutely going to sell it at school because the kids will be bragging on where they got that item from. All right, so I think it was one more I wanted to try. I'm going to go ahead and do the looking back with the white dress on. So let me, of course, that was the only little piece that was there. So let me do Windows V so I can paste my longer prompt here. And then for what she's going to be wearing, I'm going to take out the blue and white Letterman jacket, and I'm going to Windows V or Control Paste. I suppose I did not paste that part of the dress because it was a little complicated. All right, so I'm just going to describe it. I'm going to say that she is walking away from the camera, or I'll just say that this is her back view, walking away, back view. She's looking back. And this is when I was telling you was long, holding her graduation cap in her right hand and holding her, and I want to say her black graduation cap. I'm going to get real complicated here. 6.0 is going to recognize more of this than 5.2 will. I'm in her right hand and holding her black graduation gown over her left shoulder. I don't have to say she's wearing a white dress because the reference image already has her wearing a white dress. So it should be able to reference that. Okay, now this one, I'm just going to let it go as a 5.2. And I'm going to show you the difference between letting it go as a 5.2 versus forcing it to be the new 6.0 version. I'm going to do dash dash V space 6.0. And I'm gonna let that go. And I want to see how much it listens to me with the 5.2, with the elaborate description of her clothing, what she's doing with her hands, and that sort of thing. I like that, Najla. Mm-hmm. 6.0 looks so much more realistic. If 6.0, if you zoom in, you'll even see like pores. It gets super realistic. I know some of mine don't even have makeup on because it like needs concealer and some lashes and stuff. It can be super real. I saw one where it even had the Midjourney be playing sometimes. It had the lace like lifted up and she needed a little tack down. Yeah, it gets real, okay? All right, so I wanna make sure we have 4 images here. Let me see what we're working with here. 5.2 is trying to do the look back. Okay, look back. And I wanted one where she's not necessarily wearing the graduation cap. So this kind of works, even though it did not listen to me at all. I didn't say she was wearing it at all. I was telling it that she had it one in her hand and the other thing across her shoulder. It did not listen to me whatsoever. But it's those are decent images. Let me see if 6.0 tried to listen to me a little bit. Sorta. It kind of tried to put it, over her shoulder a little bit like she might be holding it. But 6.0 is just it's not sticking to my faces. I'm gonna run 6.0 one more time. Let's see. Unrecognized parameter, Amy. That means you didn't save Amy right. Then if that's the case, if it's not recognizing when you put in dash dash Amy, it wasn't saved properly because it's not a parameter that it can call on. So just go back to when we were saving that parameter. Go back to that part and just resave the 3 images that you have for your Amy. Okay. All right, y'all. So I got to get on to some Photoshoppage. So let me see what I'm going to end up with. See, I might like number 2. I like to see them all together as like a collection and make sure they all look like the same person. I make sure they all tell a story because what you're doing is you're selling someone like the culmination of all of their school years. Like this is a big deal. This is absolutely probably one of the biggest moments that you're going to remember. Parents are going to remember is a graduation. That's whether it's high school or college. Even like elementary school graduations. So you want to make sure that you're capturing what is going to have them emotional about purchasing with you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start pulling these together. I was trying to see if I was going to get one better one with the 6.0. I was rooting for the 6.0. Let me see what it gives me. Mm, it's just not giving me my same face, but I love the background though. Like this looks so realistic. It looks like it looks like a real-time photo shoot. So if I were to choose, let's say I wanted to choose number 1 because that background is just really is really pleasing. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to see if I do a face swap. on 6.0. Yeah. It doesn't give me the photorealistic look that I want there. So I got some good out of 6.0. I got some good out of our 5.2. It's just really playing with the process. Ooh, I don't know where her graduation cap looks, but I can cut that off. I like image number one. All right, so it's time for me to start pulling everything together. Shauna, let me see. Yes, that should be what you should be looking at for your Amy. That should be your settings there. All right. So, customer happiness, let's go ahead right now. This is what you're going to play with. You learned a lot tonight. Let me tell you, I have spent hours upon hours doing what you all did in probably less than an hour's worth of time tonight. So do not beat yourself up. I want you to practice this. This is going to be a skill set that anybody can go in and put in a prompt, but not anybody can do this part. This is an advanced skill for AI. So make sure you go back, review the video, practice it. And then what I would like to see is inside of these rooms, I want to see different complexions. I want to see different nationalities. I want to see different ages. Like I want some of you all to, maybe do 5-year-old graduations because that's a big one. You're talking about your pre-K and your kindergarten, big deals for graduation too. So some of these look so good. And then I really want to see more of the males too. So I'm going to type in either man or male. Let me see what y'all have going on here. And see, this is what I want y'all to do too. You got excited in there? All right, so let's do male. Okay, see, that looks like an image that a parent will send you to put on their shirt. And you're not using anyone else's likeness or image. So the good thing is when you have these up on your website, you don't have to worry about a parent telling you, hey, can you take my child's picture down from your website or that sort of thing. You're literally coming up with your own stock imagery. And I know because I search stock imagery that it is very difficult to find good looking, clean stock imagery that looks like something you want to put on a shirt. They all look goofy. They look like, they're not cohesive. You can't find the character more than one time. You can't find that person standing at a side view, then smiling, then looking straight. So the fact that you can create this is something that does not exist. Think about what I said. This is something that does not exist. So in all of these rooms right now, we have several versions of this. So this just being in this room right now, in this Zoom room and having access to this Discord is giving you tools that do not exist out there. How do I know? Because I looked for them. I was getting ready to make some mock-ups and I was looking for models and the models were trash. They were absolute trash. I was even getting ready to kind of put out a campaign for us to do a physical photo shoot. But then I was like, nope, nope. That's what we got AI for. But one of the biggest problems in AI was trying to get consistent characters. So now that we are on to that, now this is going to be a very beneficial class for you. All right. So y'all got some good models in here. Y'all are working it up. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to show you how to download those models. So after I show you how to download, then we're going to go into the Photoshop portion of things tonight. All right. So what I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to upscale subtle. I'll show you what it looks like. You can upscale subtle and creative. You never know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolates. So I'm going to go ahead and upscale everything so to be towards the end. The ones that are already upscaled, like this one's already upscaled, I'm just going to go ahead and open it in browser. What it does is it brings me a good old image in my browser. I right click, save image as. All right, so that was my Amy from earlier. I'm going to make a new folder for Amy. I'm going to call this one Amy 2. And I'm just saving them so that I know that I have how many I have. So I saved one as 001. I'm going to go to my next one. Open in browser, save as 002. And then what I like to do, like I said, I like to bring them all together and see which ones kind of tell a story and have a look. I'm only looking for my upscaled images. Oh, I almost hit save as. I'm in open in browser. So now that's 003. Open in browser. And the reason why you want to open it in browser is because you want the larger version of it. If you just right click on the image, you're going to get a smaller version of it that will not be full resolution. I've changed that one. Grab that one. I will potentially use this one because I did like the realness of her eyes in that one. So by the end of this, I should have at least 4 images. Now here, I probably would go into Photoshop and either cut out the graduation cap or give it a little bit more room at the top there. So that's going to be what I show you for the Photoshop session. What are some of the common issues you're going to run into? All right. So this 006. You see, I have way more than 4 images. I want you to do that too, because what'll happen is if you only get 4, you'll start to look at it like, I don't know, this one doesn't go, or this one, kind of looks too much like the original one. I want a different pose. I want a different look. I really like that one. I think I got that one already. Yeah, I changed her teeth on that one. That's what it was. I changed her teeth on that one, so I have her with better teeth on that one. And now this one, I feel like I want to change her hair. Let me see if I do, I'm going to vary region here. And I want to see if it'll give me bigger hair. Because now I got used to seeing Amy with that big lush hair. I want to see. And this also, I know what it is. This one doesn't have Amy with the right skin tone. So I'm going to see if I redo that one, what happens. Might not do what I wanted to do because I had Amy with a deeper skin tone and that one kind of gave her more of a brown skin tone. But I can also change it in Photoshop if I need to. So 007. And then also I think I have enough images with Amy with her graduation cap on that I should be fine. But that was my main graduation image. All right, so I am make sure I don't have anything else that I want from here. I'm checking out at the end, seeing what. Uh-oh, this one encountered an error. I think we're doing too much motion here. And this one didn't do too much. Upscale subtle. I'm looking at her teeth. Those teeth look okay. So I'll go ahead and grab that one. All right, so I have plenty of images. Now let's see what kind of problems we're going to run into. So customer happiness. Now that I have my images saved, we can go ahead and stop the Zoom recording for the AI portion. And we're going to get into the Photoshop portion.
The recording has stopped.
It's okay, love. If you ever need to delete something, if you did it.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you. If you ever did something in the room where you need to undo it, you should be able to, Murray says, sorry, you should be able to just right click and delete message. Okay. All right. All right. So y'all are cooking now while I'm doing Photoshop. I know y'all are having a little easy listening to my voice, but y'all are doing such a great job. These look so good. Let me see what y'all are doing on the graduation side. Okay, okay. I see your graduation coming through. All right, so let me show you what we're going to do with these graduation images. Let's go ahead and I'm going to minimize that for right now. And I should have saved all of my images. So I have my little Amy 2 folder, view, large icons. Now I want you to, before we go, before we do any kind of removing the background, I want you to do whatever kind of editing that you need to do for inside of Photoshop first, so that when you clean the background up, you're just completely cleaning it up. So this one, I would want to get the top of her hat a little bit better. This one, I think I'm going to go with this image here. I like this one. I really like the peace sign when I'm thinking of just putting that on the back of the shirt. But we'll see. It might make a good, no, I'll put it on the front of the shirt. It'd be a different look, different image. So maybe I can even tell a story. So the story could be just graduating, walking away, and peace out. All right, I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one. For this one, I think I need a little more imagery outside of here. Now you can do this inside of the Discord as well. So you could just zoom out, but on the version 6, you can't do a lot of those features. So I'm going to show you what I would do with it inside of Photoshop. So let's go ahead and open that up. And first of all, let me make sure I save my little 256 template. Control S. Okay, save dance. Good. All right, so what I want to do is I want to use my crop tool and then make sure that I have generative expand on. So wherever I pull my cropping out to, it's going to fill up that space with imagery. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down here because I know my letters are kind of tall and I want to fill it out. And then I'm going to pull this to the right a little bit to see if it gives me kind of more of an ending to her hair. I'm going to hit generate. Now we are not Wednesday class. You're coming with your images already cut out, ready to go. I am going to give you some images that are already cut out, ready to go. However, if you're in AI class on Monday, it's a good opportunity to exercise getting your images ready. So it did end her hair pretty well here. Um, mm, I'm not really even concerned what it does down here because I'm going to fade it off. I just want her hair to have a clean ending so that I can have her kind of pop out of the image, okay? Because the whole point here is we're doing a pop out. Once I get what I want here, I'm going to go ahead and merge that down. And if I was really concerned about what she was wearing, I would, in paint maybe this part of her sleeve and redo that part. But I'm not concerned about that because that's all going to be faded off. Let me do Control D to deselect. So now my 03 is good like I want it. I want to make all of these images a little bit taller because if you look, I have a little bit of space to fill out on these tall letters. And although this says 2024 in this orientation, I could also turn them into 2024 that go down a graduation stole, or maybe I wanted to go down a sleeve or something like that. So I want to be able to reuse these pieces. Okay. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. All right. So back to my folder here. Let's go view, extra large icons. Okay. And let's see, I definitely want this one. I think that's going to be a really cool image. So I want to pull this one down because I don't need any more at the top there. I just need some imagery down here. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to generate. And then I'm going to in-paint this white part and tell it that I want it to be the black robe or the black gown. Okay, so see how it has her dress there. So I am going to pull just this white part here. And if I don't hit anything, it may understand what I want, but I'm going to tell it that I want the black gown. And it should understand that this is and maybe I should have even said graduation gown. I don't care as long as it's black. Because like I said, this is going to be faded off towards the bottom of the image. I just want something there. Normally, what I would do is I would just paint color and fade it off to the bottom with color back in the day. But now that we have AI, this is what we want to do. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, merge it down, then take this one, merge it down on top. Boom. AI saves the day. I got my piece image. Let's hit yes to save. All right, so that's 1 and 2. Let's go back. I definitely need more of a front view here. Now, what I can do for this one is I can make her robe black instead of white here because I really like the face on this one, but let me make sure it's matching. Face matching here, there. Yeah, I like that. And I did like the one with her hand. I think I had 2 with her hand on her face, but this probably is the best one. Dang, now I have to decide. See, I only have 4. This is what happens. I think I do want to do a Letterman. Well, that one has a Letterman. Okay. So I just want to use that one. Plus this one, like I said, some of them had different skin tones, and I would have to darken her skin tone on this one. So I'm going to avoid that if I can. I got 2 of her looking over her shoulder. This one looks good right here. So let's go 1 and 2. 1, 2. Yep. So I'll go ahead and open that one up. What do I want to do here? I want to extend the length here. And I'm just arbitrarily extending it because I know I just need I need some meat down there at the bottom that when I fade it off, it has something to fade off into. Because y'all know I don't like those hard chopped off lines. I can't stand them. Emma, this is not one that you have to flip, but I will tell you this. If you're trying to reach different customers, yes, I will tell you to flip this. The reason why, number one, you have different schools, different colors. Then number two, you have different avatars. So you have, like I have black female here. I need to do a black male. I probably need to do white female, white male. I need to do an Asian female, Asian male, and I need to do a Hispanic male and female. That's what I normally do. So then that way, no matter who's seeing it, it's going to resonate with the graduate. And then if somebody wants me to do something specific, I can. Okay. And then also, if I go ahead and do that, I have all of my complexions and my ethnicities kind of pre-worked up so that if anybody asks me to do face swapping, I'm already there. Now, it did give me a lot of extra hair here, or maybe it already had the hair that long. I think it did. Yeah, because I'm only extending it past this. So I may go ahead and tell it that I want to cut some of the hair off too. Like I said, this one is going to be faded off, so it really truly does not matter. I'm looking at the robe here. I'm going to go with this first one. Go ahead and merge it down. And then I'm going to tell it that I want a black robe here. Uh-oh. Ah. All right, so I'm grabbing my lasso tool here. I know she got a real big hand down there too, but you won't see that. As a matter of fact, let me deselect. I'm going to make sure I grab all of this. And this time I'm going to see if I'm just going to put black robe like I did last time and see what happens. All right, so this is my satin robe. It kind of gave me what I wanted here. Photoshop is not giving me the proper texture here, but all I really need is about up to that shoulder there. I'm going to go backwards with just the lasso, and I'm going to tell it that I want a graduation robe and see if that makes a difference. And then put black in front of it. because I really don't want that shiny texture. I think it's picking up that it is a little sheen to it, and it's trying to make it shiny as well, but it didn't match well. Yep, Shauna, this one you're going to have to watch it over again. I promise you, it's going to be something that you not only have to watch over again, but you're going to have to practice with it too. This is one of those things, like I said, most people, I don't like that little cord. I like the texture of this one. I don't know why it's giving me this little part up here. However, if it's giving me part of what I want, I'm going to merge that down and then I'm going to in paint this part right here. Because I don't know what that's doing there. Photoshop starts acting a little janky the more that you do your AI artwork as well. So that's why you want to make sure that you're saving as you go, because this can be very stressful for your system. Okay, I like that neckline much better. I'm going to go with that one. Let's go ahead and merge it down. Okay, so now I have my image there. I'm going to save that. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I need 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick my fourth one now, and here I'm going to view large. Nope, let's do extra large icons. And I think I said I was going to do the one with the hand. Yep. All right, so this one, same deal here. This time I'm going to extend it at the top because I need a little piece of her graduation cap there. But instead of extending the top and the bottom at the same time, I'm just going to extend this top, hit enter and let it do the top first, merge it down, and then do the bottom. Sometimes if your top and your bottom are too different, it gets a little confused and it gets lazy. So if you ever see that happen, just go back and just only extend one direction at a time rather than trying to extend both directions. Okay, so that's giving me my cap there. I think that looks just fine. Very minimal difference. I don't even need the background, but if I was caring about the background, there was a little minimal difference there. I'm going to merge it down. And then I'm going to pull the image down here just so I have some meat to grab from when I fade it off. Okay, and hit the check mark, or you can hit enter. All right. Um, I don't like any of those, but this one at least gives me a little piece of grass, and then I can clear this white out here. So I'm going to merge it down. Grab this little section here. Generative fill, generate. And that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and merge that down. And now she has the full top up here of her hat. She has a gown down here that I can fade off. And those are my 4 images. So now I'm going to show you what you need to do to prep for the Wednesday file. And then I'll probably change this up a little bit. Maybe even, I think I created some male characters. I hope I did, because if not, I messed up because I think I deleted the folder. All right, so I'll do a male version of this one too, if I have the images. All right, so let's do our remove BG. That's going to be my recommended way for you all to go ahead and remove your backgrounds. It's just usually cleaner. You can also use Canva. You can use Photoshop, but the remove background in Canva, and I believe they do use remove BG, I believe, or a feature very similar to it, same algorithm, because they have very similar results. All right, make sure I got rid of all these extra windows. I am not in any way sponsored by Remove BG. Matter of fact, I had an affiliate link and I don't know where it went. And I'm not even going to log in because I want to show you all. You'll be able to use it without even having an account. You're just going to end up getting the lower resolution images. So it says upload image, but you can literally drag and drop. So I'm going to make this folder a little bit smaller. And I have image number 1 here. Let's just make sure that it gives me a clean background removal here. All right, and I have a little bit to clean up here. So if I go to erase and restore, this is a little bit newer feature of Remove BG. It has a magic brush. So if I just brush over the ends of her hair right there, it should tell that I want to get rid of some of the ends of the hair. It did it a little too harsh. And I might just see if I can clean that up a little bit more there. And it's doing too much. I'm going to hit reset, zoom out. All right, and this is good enough for me because I'm gonna have her cropped inside of the letters, and I can kind of clean that up, soften it up a little bit with a soft round brush. Okay, actually that's pretty good right there. All right, so that one's good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop in my next one. So I'll go back to my folder. Let's drop in this one. Beautiful. Let's do, and this is only going to give me the low resolution version. If I want the higher resolution cutout, then I have to have a subscription and it uses credits. So just to give you that understanding, all I'm asking you to do is just do the free one, especially for the sake of this class. Now, for your customers' images, you do want to get your higher resolution cutouts because you may be blowing those up for a banner or a backdrop or something that is going to require some higher level graphics there. So 1, 2, 3, and then what was my other one? This one. So I just need 4 images here. All right, beautiful. Now I'll just go ahead and start downloading those. And this is going to go into my Amy 2 folder. I'm going to make a new folder just of my PNG versions, which is my cutouts. And I'm going to leave the remove BG on there so you'll remember what website we went to do the cutouts. This is just the easy way. Like, even if I had a quick project to do, I actually do a multi-function where I drop all of my images into Remove BG. I have the desktop version and it cuts them all out at one time and it happens in a matter of seconds. And then I'm ready to do my collaging or my multi-jobs because all my images are pretty much cut out automatically. All right, so that's the Remove BG. I just downloaded all those. I'm done with that website. And now we get into a 5-minute template flip. Okay, so the whole point of this is so that you get familiar with how to do this whole kind of pop out feature. I can show you very easily how to just take a picture and crop it inside of these letters. It's not really even that fun. So I'm showing you how to get more advanced. I want your designs to stand out from everybody else's on Etsy. I want your skills to stand out from everybody else that does AI. So when I teach you advanced Photoshop skills in an easy way, and I teach you AI in a somewhat easy way, like tonight was probably the hardest we've ever done AI. I want you to understand that it's so that you stand out amongst the sea of everybody else doing the same thing. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to keep the 2024 here. We're just going to change out the photos. So if you go to your move tool. Oh, customer happiness. Can we stop the Zoom recording because now we're getting into the Photoshop for class
The
number.
recording has stopped.
Thank you. And let's go ahead and restart it.
This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. All right, so this is class number 256, Photoshop template number 256, PSD 256, 256. Yes, we're going to take this 2024 design and we're going to fill it with your 4 images. And if you took the AI in Action Monday class with us, then you will see how to develop 4 different images of the same person doing different poses. And if not, you're going to look inside of your folder and we will have some example images that are given to you to do this template flip. And you'll have those images to follow along with me right now. Now, this is a 5-minute template flip, so don't fret. Once you do this class live in class on Wednesday, do it 4 more times. And after you do this template flip 4 times, you'll be able to flip it in 5 minutes or less. All right, so let's go ahead and change out our image number 1. We're going to select the move tool, right click on the image, go to photo 1. Okay. Alternatively, you can look at the top here. You'll see photo number 1 is right here for you to double click on as a reference. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up and make less images there for you. You're going to do File, Place Embedded, and you're going to place the image for your number 1. So I'm going to give you an alternative folder called Amy 2. Now, if you have your images that you developed, you'll use those. And I want you to hit View Large Icon so you can see what's in each one and kind of make this determination of where you want these to go. I'm going to go ahead and put this one as my image number 1. Scale it to the appropriate size that I want. And earlier in the AI class, I showed you how to, if the top of that cap is cut off or the bottom of the gown is cut off, you can extend those. So I'm going to turn off the previous layer here. I'm going to go ahead and pull her a little more towards the right. And then I will add a layer mask. That's what this rectangle is with a circle. It's all white. And we know that white is going to reveal while black conceals. So I'm going to grab my paintbrush here. And I want at least an 800 pixel brush. And for this one, I'm going to go a little bit larger. I'm going to go with a 1400 here. And then I'm just going to swipe across the bottom, but nothing is happening. Why? Because over on the left-hand side, I have my white as the foreground and my black as the background. If you don't have that, hit your default button first, then hit your switcheroo to get the black in the foreground, and I'm going to start painting with the black. Now, I am painting on the layer mask and not on the image. Okay, so layer mask is just like a window that's allowing part of your image to shine through. Okay, so this is done. Photo 1 is ready to go. Closing it out, hitting yes to save. Okay, don't worry about this image being cropped in the wrong position right now. We're going to fix that. What I want you to do is just really focus on getting your images switched out. So photo number 2, I'm going to double click this one. All right, and we're going to go File, Place Embedded. And I think I'm going to start with this one and do this one as maybe the last image. Or should it be the second image? We'll see in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one in. We'll keep with the Letterman on image number 2. Kind of keep that consistent since the idea is already there. And like I said, the fact that her sleeve is like turned into a bell sleeve there, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to end up fading that off. I just want to make sure I got that beautiful hair in there. Turn this off. And then again, I'm going to add a layer mask here and fade off the bottom there, maybe even fade off a little bit of that side of that sleeve. Close it out, hit yes to save. So that is image number 2. Then image number 3, same thing here. File, Place Embedded. And all of these models were done in AI. It was so hard for me to find 4 graduates, the same image on stock photos. So what you all are doing in this class for the AI-16 is definitely worth the hassle of going back and watching the video and really tackling this thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll choose this one for number 3. And I like to pull from the center instead of pulling from the corner so that it keeps my image centered. And let's add a layer mask here, fade off the bottom a little bit there, and I'm just being real quick with it. Like I said, you should be able to change these out in 5 minutes once you're actually familiar and comfortable with the template. All right, number 4, let's go ahead and double click on that. File, Place Embedded. And you're going to add your image number 4 there. And you don't want anything hanging off the side. If anything is hanging off the side, it will end up getting cropped off and it'll look like a hard line. All right, so this one does not have a layer mask. I'm going to add a layer mask and then make sure black is going to conceal. So I'm going to go across the bottom of that layer mask with my black paintbrush. And I have image number 1, 2, 3, and 4 changed out. Okay, looks pretty cool here, but it looks a little weird. Okay, we have some custom layer masks that are on here, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of them. So for my previous image, I'm going to delete the layer mask here, and I'm going to show you how to make your own layer mask. Okay, before you even start making your layer mask, go ahead and start moving your images 1, 2, 3, and 4 wherever you want them. So photo number 1, I'm going to pull that in more here. And remember, I was telling you I wasn't really caring about her hair here because I'm going to end up chopping that off inside of the 2, but I want her head to be able to stick out. And by how much? Just about by that much. Okay. Definitely want to make sure that I get her full face. Y'all, this is going to look so much better than those images that just have people randomly cropped inside of the letters, because sometimes it looks weird because the odd parts of the face are cut out inside of the letters. So if you do this, you get to choose what pops out and what stays. So here, for instance, I know I would not put her face in the middle of that O. So I want to make sure that her face is going to be seen either on the left side or on the right side of that opening. So I'm going to choose the left side here, and then I can crop off all of this later. That's what we're going to do together. Okay. So that's photo number 2. Photo number 3, I want to make sure that I get the top of her hat kind of popping out a little bit here. I want to make for sure that her face is going to be in there, and I can do a little shifting in a little bit too. You'll see that in just a moment. And then photo number 4, I'm going to have to decrease the size of this one so I can get her doing her piece there. And like I said, we'll see how much of this is going to be cut off in just a moment. So now that I have my placement there, I'm going to turn off the folder for my pop out photos. And I'm going to close out the one that says fill surface here. Okay, so there's no filling in it right now. I'm just wanting to see where my images are. Now, these images are linked to the images below. So wherever I move them, this is what it looks like. Y'all saw the images where people are just cropping images into the letters. So you have that ability inside of this template. You can clip your heart away by basically changing out these images. You can even change the color, of the images here. So that's my one with the drop shadow. I'm going to duplicate that. And bring that above my fill surface. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to move this for you so you don't have to worry about this. I want it above my fill surface, but not clipped down to the gold. So in that case, sometimes I find it easier to pull it above the folder and then pull it back below the folder, close the folder out, and then pull it below the folder. Okay. And then I'm going to, okay. All right, so that's my shadow. And then for this one, I'm just going to clear the layer style because we don't need any shadows in it. All right, so now what I'm making sure of, do not cut anybody's face off. So this one, I see her beautiful face is getting cut off. So I'm going to make sure I select photo 2. I can either reduce the size of it a little bit here. And then I'm going to adjust her face. I don't want to cut off, especially anybody's eyes. So I'm just reducing that size there. I can do a little bit of pop out, but what's really important to me is that I don't lose my image here. So she will have some hair that pops out at the top there. I'll show you how to make it pop out later. What I'm doing now is I'm adjusting it so it does not cut off anything that makes my art look stupid. Okay. And I don't have a better word for that, but it does look stupid when you have a beautiful picture of somebody and then like a hole in their face. Like, so just this is why this feature that you're doing now is going to be an advanced technique, because everybody's not able to fill in this extra space or to make it pop out in order so that it does not cut off their face. So you will stand out by being able to do these advanced techniques. All right, so peace sign. I want the top of her graduation cap kind of popping out the top there. So I do want to make sure I have a little bit of information popping out the top. That's good. All right. All right, all right. All right, so these are all cropped good and in place. And if I wanted to, I could, just do kind of like a solid fill here to see what it would look like if this were filled in with some other color. However, you already know we're not going that basic at all. I'm sure you figured that out by now. All right, so I'm going to turn off this image right here for right now. And we're going to go ahead and bring out our pop-out images. And if you notice, the pop-out images changed with the images below here. So as I moved this particular image, it also moved the matching pop-out image. Now, if you unlink and you click on anything in this template to undo that, just go ahead and re-download the template so that everything is linked and together, just in case you happen to unlink it. But you'll see here, if I select photo 1 and photo 1 here, were they not linked? They should have been. All right, so if they are not linked, let me delete these, and I'm going to grab these. Alt, click and drag. So I'll show you how to link up right now. So we'll take photo number 4 and photo number 4, and we'll just hit this link button. I may have unlinked them for a reason. I can't remember why I would have, though. But photo 3 and photo 3. Now, these are already going to be linked for you, so you don't have to worry about this. Photo 2 and photo 2, let me link them. Photo 1, and link. So then this way, if I move photo number 1 on the pop out, it also moves the photo number 1 on the lower, and I'll call that the fill of the picture. All right. So now I have my pop out here. I want to essentially clean up everything that's outside of these letters, and then I want to choose what to pull out. The best way to do that is going to be to take your 2024 here, which should be linked to this one. I'm going to go ahead and link all of these. Make sure my 2024 is all linked. Now this layer mask, I already have it on. I'm calling it the layer mask master holder. If you don't move the 2024 around at all, then quickly you can just click on that. Okay. That's going to select the inside meat of the 2024. However, let's say you turn it to 2025 because you're going to be using this template for years to come. I'm going to, when I change the text to 2025, it's going to change here. I'll show you. Double click here. We can change that to a 5 instead of a 4. All right, and then when I change that, I hit yes to update. You see how it changes to a 5 here? Now I go control and click on the 2025. Now the 2025 is there. So I'll have that 2024 saved. I'm going to duplicate the layer. And then I will delete that layer mask. And I'm going to create one from the 2025. So you'll have a 2025 layer mask save and a 2024 save. All right, however, we're going back to the 2024 because that is what's going on this year. You want to resonate with that audience. So I'm going to double click here, put that 4, and I'm good to go. Close it out. Make sure I hit yes to save the changes. All right, and if nothing moved around, then when I select my 2024 layer mask, it should all be good inside of here. Perfect. So I can take this layer mask now, that I have saved. And I want to encourage you to do that. Save your layer mask before you go throwing it everywhere else. So I'm going to alt click and drag it to each of my photos. Alt click and drag, alt click and drag, alt click and drag. Now you notice it kind of looks like the image below where it was not popping out whatsoever. What I want to do is I want to choose what pops out of each photo, each number. So I'm going to start with image number 1, which is photo number 1 right here. I'm going to control click on the graduate's image here, the thumbnail here, and see how it puts marching ants around everything that she has that is a colored in pixel. Well, I can take my brush tool now on the layer mask, only on the layer mask. And instead of black to conceal, now I want white in the forefront to reveal. Okay. I'm going to choose a much harder brush this time. So I'm going to go to my general brush. I'm going to choose a hard round brush. And the size now I'm going to choose about a 600 so I can get a little more precise. Okay. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint with the white wherever I want to pop out. So I want her hair to kind of pop out here a little bit. And let's see how here I kind of lost my 2 in that robe. If I want to get it back, then I can control click on my 2024 here. And I can say, well, let me make the brush a little bit smaller. And I like her hair hanging out, but I don't want the robe to hang out here. So since white reveals, I need black to conceal. I'm going to hit my switcheroo button, get the black in the front. And then I'm going to make sure I'm on my layer mask here. Oh, I have to select the inverse because right now I have the inside meat selected. I need the outside meat selected. So I'm going to go to my select inverse. Now the outside meat is selected. And I'm going to color right here with my paintbrush. I'm going to leave the hair kind of hanging out a little bit there. And this kind of gives me a little fun. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my fill effects here. Turn on my fill surface because I could not see that I was eating up some of my stuff here. And that's the good thing about it. We did not delete any pixels. We are literally dealing with a layer mask. So now I can go back to my photo 1, go to my layer mask and see that when I did not know that I was on the inside layer, I had messed that up. So let's select the inverse and we're going to go to white because we want to reveal that part of the image. And there we go. So select, deselect. That is better. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for photo 2. I'm going to hold down control and select the image here. And I want to let the top of her hair pop out. So I'm on the layer mask now instead of the image. So I hit control. Then I clicked on the thumbnail to get the marching ants. Then I click over to the layer mask. And I'm going to make her pop out by painting white here. And maybe I let a little bit of her hair pop out here, but not so much so that I lose my little gold outline there because I like that. And then let's Control D to deselect, and now I get my little pop out there. Photo number 3, Control click on the thumbnail. I want the top of her hat popping out here, but I have to be on the layer mask there. I'm going to go ahead and paint that up. And I'm not concerned with any of her image sticking out here. Photo number 4, Control select here. And now this one, I really need her, I need my peace signs. And what I may do for this one, I'm going to do deselect here. And I'm going to unlink my layer mask right now. If I unlink it, that means I can move the picture independent of the layer mask. If I keep it linked and I try to move her picture, it's going to move the layer mask with the photo. Okay, so I'm going to unlink it, grab my move tool, and I want her to be a little bit high. I want her piece fingers to stick out the top of the 4 a little bit over here. I may even nudge her over to the left just a little and up because I want her fingers to stick up. All right, so when I control click now, I can see, yes, she is going to have her cap popping out here. Her peace fingers are hanging out here. That should look pretty cool. Now I'm going to relink this because I want this all to stay together. On the layer mask layer, I am going to use white and my paintbrush to make sure I see her cap here and make sure I get her fingers popping out of the floor there and make sure I get the two little fingers popping out here. Everything else should be tucked inside the lettering. I can do Control D to deselect. And that's all, folks. Well, that's not all. I'm just saying that seems very difficult, but you will be able to do some major work with this. And let's say, like, I don't like how the gold outline is sitting on her face right here, and maybe I want to move this one a little bit. I'll go to Photo 3. I'm going to turn off the link between the mask and the image. I'm going to nudge her on the keyboard to the right just a little bit. And you'll notice when I moved her, I also need to clean up my layer mask because I moved her after the fact. So what I need to do is I'm going to delete that layer mask. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use the one from here. I can select it, create a fresh one. Okay. And then I'm going to control click on my photo and build this back in the position that it's currently in. Okay. So grabbing my paintbrush here, I'm going to let her pop out at this position instead. And yeah, I'm not gonna let that much hair hang out because that's gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna let the hair kind of remain inside of here. So again, I'll select here and say, well, how much of this do I want hanging out? Select inverse. And basically I'm just using it like a stencil. Uh-oh. I want to have the black here because I want to hide some of that coming out, popping out right there. I only want the graduation cap to pop out there. Okay, so that is pretty much how I get my pop out effect. If you want the bling effect in here, it's already there. You're just going to change the colors, let's say to the school colors here. So color number 1, I will go ahead and pick my school colors first. If you have a mascot, if you don't have a mascot, let me give y'all one for this class. What class did we do? Mascots, AI 004, we did some mascots. I'm going to look for a bear. Let me look up bear in vector. Mm-mm. All right, let me go to this room. Vector mascots. All right, I want to, oh, here's something that's already blue. What is this? A cougar. I'll rock with that one. Nope, that one has a watermark on it. This one looks good. So if your school doesn't have a logo, we did this in one of our AI classes. We developed a whole bunch of logos together, and this is all AI. Let's go ahead and use this one. So I'm going to save image as and save that as Amy 2's logo. So that's our school logo. I'm going to pick the colors from here. But first, I'm going to go to remove BG, remove the background. Actually, you know what? I'll show you how to do it inside of Photoshop. Okay, so let's say I'm going to bring the logo somewhere onto here at the very top. Let me create a logo space for you all. And I'll make it a smart object for you, and I'll just call that logo. I'm going to make a smart object out of it. And that way, when you come to it, it's already ready to go. So you just do File, Place Embedded. And we already saw Remove BG. So now this time I'm going to use Photoshop tools to clean this up. You can use for something like this, you can use Magic Wand. You can use Object Selection Tool. We'll try that first, Object Selection. Go to the drop down, hit Cloud, and then hit Select Subject, and see if it automatically selects the subject that you want. Looks like it did a decent job of that, but it ended up also including the blue details inside of the image that I want to keep. So I am going to make sure that I have the addition selection on, and I'm going to use my quick mask selection. And I'm just going to make sure that it understands that I want all of this stuff. I may have to increase my brush size here because I don't want to be here all day. Now, what I would have done better than this, and I'll show you, because the background is solid, I'm going to deselect. I'll go to my magic wand tool. I'm going to select the outside me. Oh, you know what it is? Something is open. That's what it is. So when you have an image that has openings, something like this is going to cause issues. So I'll select the outside me just like this. Then I'll select the inverse. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you include the parts inside of here. So I'm going to use polygon lasso, and I want to subtract from this part. So this is going to be a little more than I want to do, but you have to do this manually. If you did not clean this up from the beginning, which basically with this being broken right here, you would want to clean that up. So basically I'm just creating some chunks here that I'm getting rid of. Oh, I had the reverse selection on. Hold on. Control 0, Control D to deselect. Let me try that one more again, y'all. All right, so I'm on contiguous. I'm selecting the outside meat. Oh, it's selecting the inside too, so it's got me kind of confused here. So if I want to only allow this to be outside, then I need to minus my selection from here. And what it's doing is it's recognizing that the parts that I don't want, and I'm just kind of roughly doing this right now, I would have to follow this through. And this is why you want to have your stuff ready ahead of time. Your logos, your foreground, background images, etc., because you may end up having to clean up something like this. And this is not something fun to do, and we definitely don't get into all this during class. But I like to show you all this stuff when I'm doing demos because this is helpful because you're going to run into problems like this as you accept orders. So I'm just staying inside of this yellow here, just roughly grabbing what's inside of here. Now, if this were a client that I was going to have regularly, or this was a school that I was going to be working with regularly, I would actually vector this logo and I would fix it so that it did not have that break there. And if I were you all, and maybe I don't have the Illustrator skills, I'm not even telling you to learn Illustrator. I'm saying go to somebody on Fiverr and ask them to vector the file and make it what's called a closed path. If you tell them make it a closed path, then whatever that blue on the outside will not affect the blue on the inside because it's a closed path. But because AI came up with this and not a graphic designer, AI was not aware that this should be a closed path. Now, here I'm going to select the inverse and see what else is out here. Uh-oh, brought up a calculator. And I want to also make sure that I do not have all of this selected on the outside here, courtesy of AI. Gave us a nice little pretty little logo, but we having to do some work here. Okay, now what I do is go to select and mask just to see how clean it's going to end up being. Is it going to look scraggly? Do I need to pull in my edge so I can shift my edge in if I feel like it's captured too much blue? Let me see. I'm gonna just zoom in here just a little bit. I'm gonna pull that in. And you can also smooth it. Like if you feel like you have some jagged edges, you can feather and then contrast. That gives you a smoother edge, or you can just hit smooth depending on what you do. I think this is actually pretty smooth. All right, I just feel like it is pulling in too much of that blue on the outside, but that would be something, like I said, this right here needs to be closed up where this blue and this yellow is touching. That needs to be closed up to truly clean this up all the way. Let me just go ahead and do a quick little clip here. Turn that off. And then what I would do here, because it's already got pretty much a blue outline, I would either clean it up and make it a white outline, depending on how clean it is. So I'll do a stroke, and then I would do an inside stroke of white. Bring that down a little bit. And then I would also duplicate that and make it an outside stroke of white. And I may have to do an outside stroke of black or the blue or the yellow. And this is not what I would advise you to do because this is not a vector image, so it's going to look a little janky. Like this is actually pretty good for this being a low resolution image from Midjourney. All right, so that's my logo. I'm gonna stick beside it. All right, so that is the logo for the school. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. Maybe I want to place it behind the images, or maybe I want it to be here on maybe the Letterman side. I think that's pretty cool. I'm just offering some suggestions on where you could put that. So it has that kind of layering effect. Okay. But the reason why we have the logo in here is so we can pick the colors. So let's grab the color picker tool. Let's start with the main color, which is going to be the blue. All right. So I used my color picker tool, clicked on it, let it go. If you check over in your swatches, scroll to the top, you should see it either at the top, very top up here, or sometimes you'll see it at the very bottom. I'm just checking for the top right here. There it is. Then I'll click on my yellow, and you'll see there's a yellow right beside it. If you want to save those colors, you can. If that's a school you're regularly dealing with, then double click on the foreground color there. Go add to swatches and tell it that, turn that off and tell it you want to save that as school gold, and then hit OK. What happens is it will save it in your swatches for a later time. And this one, it looks like it is saving it. It's saving it in here. All right. And then if you want to see the names, let's do the list. Okay. So if you do the list, it'll actually show the names of the swatches. It just makes it a lot longer. All right, but for quick reference, just look right here to the little top, and then you can quickly change these out. So we're going to quickly change out color number 1. I'm going to duplicate this layer. And what I did, I just double clicked. I apologize. I didn't say that. I just double clicked. I'm so used to doing this fast. Close out, hit yes to save. All right, so that's color number 1. Color number 2, we're double clicking on the thumbnail for the smart color. We'll duplicate that layer. And then let's change that to the gold. Close it out, hit yes to save. All right, now you are going to have to decide based on the colors that you're using what the levels and changes have to be here. So you have the metal color that's on top. The metal color can be silver or gold, or you can double click and make it purple, blue, whatever you want. It'll just look metallic. Okay, so for this one, let's go with the gold simply because the logo is already gold. And then let's go ahead and change the fill here. I'm going to open that up. And we have a levels adjustments that's on here right now, so that if you're doing more pastel colors or deeper, darker colors, you can duplicate this layer, the levels. And what I'm going to do, I'm still going to clip these down, right click and create clipping mask. So you could just change one of the levels is here because I'm going to keep one on for you. double click on the levels, and then I want you to move this middle one to your desired position so you get the darkness and the intensity of the colors that you want there for the stones. And if you don't like the stones, you can turn this one off and you can use a color here. Same idea though. You'll adjust the levels to get the color that you want there. And here, same idea. I can take the layer mask from this one. I'll click and drag it to the layer mask here. Turn that on. And for this one, instead of color blend mode, I want to change it to normal. And then that way I get my full normal color there. All right, and like I said, you can show your customers the difference between a flat color and using the bling there. I'll turn that one on. And of course, the word graduate is editable as well. So I'm going to take this whole line here. I'm going to call it text 4. And we'll pull this up, and maybe you want that to say class of, or maybe you want it to say someone's name. Class of, and we just double clicked on the T in order to change the text. It's a little bit big, so I'm going to pull in the size here. So maybe you'll say class of 2024 and then put the graduate's name at the bottom. So where it says graduate, I'm going to duplicate that. Double click on the T and just put your name. And then of course, this one also has silver or gold, or what I'll do is I'll put the smart colors there too. So if you have smart color 1 and 2, you can change the class of. Now, if you do this, if you change the class of to a darker color, I would suggest that you go into your outline. And right now the stroke is black. I'm going to duplicate it and make an opportunity for a white outline here. And then I'm going to make this one smaller, about half the size, so that you still have that nice, that drop shadow look to it. And that way that gives you a little contrast to pop off of. All right, now me personally, I like the lighter color right there, so I'm going to bring that lighter color back. There we go. And then where it says your name, I'm going to bring my smart colors here, just in case y'all want to use them there. You'll have them available. And this one, I will do the primary color for the school, but I'm definitely going to add a little pop of the stroke there to be white. Give me a little contrast. Bring down the size of that stroke. And I'm not adding a drop shadow to this one because I wanted this to be something that you all could do DTF, because I know DTF is really, really popular for just in general right now, but especially for graduation, because people want black shirts and not everybody's willing to pay for all over. So I'm going to take this class of, and I'm going to kind of rotate a little bit, set it right here. And what I may do, I think I'll add like a little, no, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna add a graduation cap so that it could go on this other side, but I think our design is full enough. Okay, so we got that. And then if you really truly want the stroke to be a different color, let's say you want it to be that yellow, you can go into the outline and instead of white, here, remember I told you you save your swatches there. So I'll go to the color here, choose that yellow, and I still feel like I'm gonna do white and then yellow. All right, so that's just giving you some options there. And then you still have that kind of black drop shadow down there. I don't know, I feel like that's a bit much. I'm gonna leave it with the white outline there. All right, so that just shows you all of those different options. Of course, you'll be able to change out the images, change out the colors. I'll probably even throw in a little bit of texture or something so that, for some reason, I just can't do flat colors. But if you want the flat colors, they are there. It's in the fill effects. You have the fill surface that has the bling, and then you have the fill surface that has the flat color. And either way, you can turn one off, turn the other one on, and that still looks good. All right. So we just went through a whole AI class generating AI images from scratch. Like I said, that was probably the most advanced AI class that we've done yet to generate the multiple images that all look like the same model. Then we brought it into Photoshop, cleaned up some of the images, extended them, or deleted some areas. In painted is one of the technical terms that we did. Then we brought them into our template. Well, we cut them out with remove BG. So you need to do that before class. Cut out your images, remove BG, have your logo ready to go. And then boom, while you're in class, you're going to create a design with the coach live in real time that you can go ahead and put up on your Facebook, your Instagram, go ahead and start advertising to the graduation market that you have this level of design ready to go, and it's going to blow them away. Okay. Clean up an image in Topaz. So what I would end up doing is probably letting Topaz do whatever it does, bring it into Photoshop, and then clean it up in Photoshop the same exact way I showed you how to bring these images into Photoshop and clean them up. I would not try to, do you mean like using the Topaz upscaler, just in general? Okay, Shauna, I already know you're gonna be flipping this thing 20 times. All right. All right, my love. So it is late. I have enjoyed, I want y'all to know I truly do thoroughly enjoy my Mondays. I don't know about y'all, but I actually look forward to Mondays because of our AI time that we spend together. This has been something that's opening my eyes, making me feel alive and that I can create things that never existed before. Like when I was looking for these models and I could not find the same model 4 times, it was driving me crazy. And then I would have to find a customer that has 4 images that they can give me, and I'm probably going to have to do the design for free. So now we're literally just created our own opportunities. And now I can create different variations. So like I said, I want to challenge you all. I know this is 8 different flips, but if you can do maybe the 4 different, like let's say 4 different ethnicities, do black, white, Asian, and Hispanic, or you can put Latina in there. So if you have those 4, then maybe do 1 female, 1 male, 1 female, 1 male. That's 4 flips. Okay. And then what I want you to do is make sure that you have a different logo for each one. So some of the top logos are eagles. And, we already know some of those. You have eagles, cougars, bulldogs, eagles, cougars, bulldogs, and bears are popular. Wildcats are popular. Lions are popular. Tigers are popular. So choose one of the most popular logos for your local schools, some standard colors, which are all here in this class. So those of you who have the AI in Action yearly pass, congratulations, because you have access to all of these as well. Go ahead and choose you some logos from here so that you're not unless you can grab some logos for your local schools. I would prefer you do that because if you grab logos for your local school, then you'll resonate with them when they see that logo. Okay. So that's all, folks. We're going to also show you how to break this down so that you can use these pieces. And I'll show you that now. I know this is a little long, but I want to show you how you can use these pieces. Let's say I take the class of, I want to use some of these individual pieces. So this is class of, I'm going to call that class of. This one is going to say your name. Make sure I spell that. All right. I'm going to show you how to export these pieces. Now, if this was graduate, then this one says graduate so that you can use these in the Automizer. And then you can also use these specifically. I want to show you how to design a graduation stole, especially if you already have the template, and use this 2024 going down the stole. And I think that would look really cool. So let's go ahead and do that. You got the word graduate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick export this as PNG. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in my 256 folder so you all will have those pieces. I'm just going to call this quick export PNG so that you'll remember that's how I got these. And I'm going to right click, quick export as PNG, go to my folder. It says class of. Whatever the file or the layer name or the folder name is, that's what it's going to export as. This one's going to export as your name. And I'm going to click here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then this will be graduate. Click export as PNG. I'm going to get my graduate here. Now this one has all of the pop-out photos, all of this good stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all of this off. I'm going to grab my this one will not be able to be touching this one. Well, this is how we would have to do that. We would have to export each one because I got a little fancy. I have mine touching and it really should not be touching. Like this photo here should not be touching. This one up here, this one right here should not be touching because essentially I wanted you all to just be able to cut it clean out as a PNG and take each letter individually without having to redo the artwork for a vertical design. So essentially, let me move this one. I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you to do that naturally. Let's go to our logo. Make sure that's not touching. And what can I do for you all that would make this easier? I want to make this cleaner. So what I will do, I will add more space and I would just end up redoing this. Image, canvas size, and make that a little bit taller there. Put a little more space between the top and bottom layers here. And then what happens now that I've done that, I'm going to have more space between it. So I'll have to clean up my layer mask here, but this will show you just how simple that is. I'm going to delete those layer masks. And I'll end up doing this all over again, y'all. But it will show you now that I'm not worried about explaining it too much, how quickly this goes. So photo 1, I'm moving it down. Oh, that's photo 4. What my goal is not to let the top of any of my image touch the other piece, because if I keep it clean, then I can just cut out around each one of them. And I have a surprise of what I would like to be able to do with these. I don't want to tell y'all the surprise yet. So I basically get my promo ready for it, because otherwise y'all will be like, well, Shannon, you said, and I'm not saying nothing. Okay, because I'm just not saying nothing. If I do it, it'll be a bonus. It's not something that is a necessary, but I think it would be really cool for you all to incorporate that for graduation season. All right, so see how now I have some clear space between the white and the top of the hat there. Cool, cool. This is going to get cut off. I'm not worried about that hanging out. And this will get cut off. So these are going to make good cuttable files. And I'm telling y'all that for a reason, because I want you all to be able to cut these out. All right, now real quick, I'm gonna go to my 2024, select the inside meat here, go ahead and put that on my layer mask holder here. Okay, and then I can take that layer mask holder, drop it like it's hot, alt click and drag on each of these 4. And again, like I said, once you do this, especially if you do it in class and then do it 3 more times, flip it, you're gonna be able to do this super fast. Okay. I'm going to control click on my image here, grab my paintbrush, make sure black and white is selected as my default. I'm on the layer mask and I want white in the foreground so that I can bring the top of her hat up here. All right, same thing for this one on top of the head there. Going to grab that pop out. And for this one, I should have moved her. I didn't pay attention to where her face was. I just told y'all about that. Let me do Control D to deselect that layer mask, grab the photo 3. I'm gonna have to unlink this one because I didn't pay attention to where I was moving it. Matter of fact, I think I moved it before. Yep, I did. So deselect, grab this image, unlink it from the layer mask. So the layer mask doesn't move along with the photo. And I want her face to be clear of getting cut off there. There we go. Make it a little bit larger so I can have a little bit of her grad cap popping out there. Click on that. I'm going to just grab the grad cap with on that layer mask, link it back, paint just this part right here out. Everything else is going to be in there. Control D to deselect. Control and click on my thumbnail here. Make sure she pops out. See how I'm not touching the image above anymore? It's going to make it simpler to do my surprise if I get to my surprise. We shall see, y'all. Let me get those little 2 fingers right there. Everything else stays inside. Oh, I must have missed a little tip right there at the top of that hat. There it goes. All right. That's it, y'all. So then I could take this and I can take this whole 256 folder. I'm going to quick export as PNG. And I'm just going to call this my 2024 pop out because I'm going to use this for something else. I'm going to bring my bling in. So this will be the flat version. I'm going to bring in the bling version in. That one will go into my fill effects. And I'm going to turn on the bling version. I really like that. And I could really see that jazzing up graduation stole topper, the graduation cap topper. Those will be some really good images to work with. So I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to put that from bling. All right, and then I'm going to bring my top and bottom text on and export the whole thing just like it would be a front shirt image. Boom, boom, boom. And then this one. I'm going to take off the your name and just leave the word graduate. And I like that all together. Logo needs to be dropped in here. I'm afraid my logo wasn't in there when I did the initial 256. I bet it wasn't, and it was not. Okay, so now it's going to have the full image with the logo on it. And this is also going to have a transparent background because it's only creating a PNG out of what is in this active layer, and this background is not in the active layer or in the active group. So if I close that down, this is everything that's getting exported. So I'm going to quick export that. So you have one with the logo and the bling and one flat. Yes. Now I will be able to take these different elements. I could also go ahead and quick export my photos 1 through 4 because they're already faded off. I'm going to use these to create a graduation stole, a brand new design graduation stole for y'all. So if you're in Craft to Quit, you're going to get that bonus file. Coach Christy and I have decided that we're going to start rewarding Craft to Quit, the people that are showing up on Thursdays and Fridays with additional files. Okay, so make sure you're a part of Craft to Quit, and then make sure you're showing up too, because we are going out of our way to make sure that we give you all actionable steps for your business. And part of that are special files. Okay, so quick export as PNG while I'm talking. You see photo 1, photo 2 already faded off. This is going to be easy peasy to design a graduation stole, banner, anything basically that's in the Automizer or anything that you just have an individual template or layout for. So we have our photos. And then sometimes, like on the stole, you're going to have maybe some kind of customizable, like the name of the school or maybe the insignia for different clubs they were in or that sort of thing. And you'll be able to customize it with that. So that's it. So we're going to go from a shirt design, and you'll see this if you're in Craft to Quit on either Thursday or Friday. Coach Chrissy and I'll decide what we're going to do because we kind of are tag teaming, giving you all some additional resources. We will make you all a fresh new stole design. Does that sound good? All right. And then also, if it's something that you want to buy, we'll make it available for purchase at some point in time, but it won't be whenever Craft to Quit gets it. And it may not be ever because we want Craft to Quit to start having some resources that are exclusive. Okay. All right. All right. So listen, y'all, it's late, 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 late. I have had a lot of fun with this. I have spent good amount of hours with y'all tonight. So make sure that you go back, follow this tutorial. Make sure that you do this AI flipping at least 4 times. I'm telling you, it's going to get easier as you understand the concept of why you're doing what you're doing. And you're going to be able to create models that look the same so that you can do projects like this. All right. And that is it, my loves. I appreciate you. I love you dearly. And until next time, bye. Good night, y'all. Take it easy. Get some rest. The AI video will be uploaded tomorrow so that you can go back and refresh what we did today, okay? Good night, y'all.